Welcome to this video series on renovating a marine steam plant. This is the second video in the series and covers making the baseboard. A lot of my technique for the baseboard comes from Keith Appleton's fantastic model engineering videos. I'll put links to his YouTube and Patreon channels in the description. The first step was to cut the base from 23 32-inch plywood and select the mahogany strips to veneer the plywood with. The strips I used were 1-inch by 1/8-inch mahogany planks. It's a good idea to lay out the mahogany strips on the baseboard before cutting them. This will help avoid very small strips at the edges of the baseboard that are difficult to glue in position. After marking the mahogany strips, it's over to the bandsaw to cut them to length. I'm doing this one-handed so I can take the video. Two hands are always preferred when using the bandsaw. I started veneering the plywood at each end of the base. I use a medium viscosity superglue, which gives some time to adjust positioning of the mahogany before the glue grabs. I leave 1/8 inch at each end of the strips that will be sanded off later. Clamping the strips helps ensure mating surfaces contact each other. After sanding the ends of the previously glued strips flush with the plywood, I glue the first of the side strips in place. Again, a clamp is used to ensure mating surfaces contact each other to give a strong bond. The second side strip is glued and clamped the same way as the first. Then, using a plane and sander, I sand the edging strips until they are flush with the plywood. With this baseboard, I decided to start the top planking from the middle of the baseboard so the strips closest to the sides look equal. The lines on the plywood are guides for gluing the middle strip. The middle strip is glued using the guides to center it on the plywood. Then I work my way to one edge, gluing the strips in place. I put glue on the edges of the strips to avoid gaps in between the strips. I then repeat this process and go from the middle to the other edge. Once gluing the strips is complete, I clamp the strips in place and leave the glue to fully set. Once the glue is set, I use the bandsaw to trim the edges of the top strips. I then sand the baseboard to remove any superglue stains and get nice square edges. Occasionally, there will be a gap where a plank hasn't glued. To rectify this, I pour glue in the gap and then use a clamp to close it up. I'm not looking for perfection here, as the planks on full-scale steam plants would never be perfect. Perfectly imperfect is a good phrase to describe the desired look of the baseboard. Here's a photo of the sanded baseboard. It is now ready for stain and varnish. I applied a coat of dark red mahogany stain using a lint-free cloth and wiping off any excess. As Keith Appleton would say, here's a gratuitous shot of the stain drying. Here's the baseboard after 2 coats of wipe-on polyurethane varnish applied. I apply the varnish with a lint-free cloth and use a circular motion when applying it. The wipe-on poly gives the baseboard a satin finish rather than glossy like brushed-on varnishes. I prefer this look as it gives a nice sheen to the mahogany strips and protects them too. Here's a shot of the baseboard with the steam plant sat on it. The plant will look good once the feed water tank and pump are installed. So, that's the baseboard completed. Next, I'll be moving on to making a feed water tank for the plant. There will be more videos of this project posted soon. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you.